The following is a presentation of Region 11 Spring Sports on 107.7 FM and CashValleyDaily.com. This broadcast of Region 11 Sports is brought to you by Cache Valley Daily and the Cache Valley Media Group, covering the Skyview Bobcats, Green Canyon Wolves, Logan Grizzlies, Bear River Bears, Ridgeline Riverhawks, and Mountain Crest Mustangs. Now, it's time for Region 11 Sports on 107.7 FM and CashValleyDaily.com.
I got the new word in my view. I got the new word in my view.
Welcome into Logan High School. It's time for another evening of Region 11 Spring Sports. Stockton Jukes and Jason Walker here with you on KVNU 102.1 FM, 610 AM, and 100.9 Light FM, the home of the Logan Grizzlies and the Green Canyon Wolves, respectively, for a cold, rainy, slushy, snowy night of soccer between two of the top teams in the region. Green Canyon just recently falling down to a three-way tie for first place at 5-1 in region, and the Grizzlies knocking on the door in fourth at 4-3 in region. Jason, what are we looking forward to tonight? It's going to be pretty sloppy out there on this turf.
Now, that may very well be it. When you get conditions like this, a lot of times skill can just kind of go out the window, and it comes down to how lucky you can you get the right to wrong bounce, so to speak. Comes off the turf oddly or not the way you're expecting, because typically these turf fields are incredibly fast, though once you get water in it, they can slow things down quite a bit. So we're going to see how these two teams manage these sloppy conditions. Of course, a lot of them grow up in Cache Valley. They know what playing in sloppy weather is, so we'll just see which team masters it the most. But, yeah, I'm kind of interested because Green Canyon, as you mentioned, they kind of dropped into that three-way tie for first place. They had a 5-game winning streak snapped on Tuesday with that 3-1 loss to Skyview. Logan, they're on a 2-game win streak, their first win streak of the season. They're building some momentum, especially defensively, which will be important against a very high-scoring Green Canyon team.
Green Canyon is, in fact, averaging 4.4 goals per game, 44 goals for, and just 15 goals allowed through their first 10 matches. Bit of a different story for the Grizzlies. Built defensively, 14 goals scored for the team, 29 goals allowed, just 1.1. And these conditions definitely going to play in their favor tonight, Jason, as we look out there at our starters for the Logan Grizzlies. Who do we got lining up on senior night?
Yeah, so we got the junior goalkeeper, Jesus Felix. He's lining up there number 1. Then they still got some freshmen and sophomores in here. They got Quinn Pingree lining up there number 3. They've also got Mason Birch, a sophomore. Then you got senior Jacob McAllister, senior Kyonosuke Chikamoto. Then you got the senior Lionel, I'm butchering these names, Chukipoma.
Yep.
And then senior Kason Adams, senior Caleb Perez, Alexander Tana, and then Jace Pingree and Ezekiel Taylor, just as we kick off now.
Kickoff underway here at Logan High as we take a look at our uniform check, brought to you by the Logo Shop. They really can put your logo on just about anything. Schools, teams, businesses, youth groups, they all trust the Logo Shop. Logan going to be in their all blacks at home here on senior night, and the Green Canyon Wolves in their all whites.
Hopefully it doesn't snow too much, or I'm going to stop being able to see Green Canyon.
Wolves going to drop this back to Sorensen as the rain is turning to snow. It's getting windy out there as well. Kind of hard to see through the haze, and if that picks up, it is going to be something to keep an eye on defense for both of these squads. Ball bouncing around at midfield. Now it's picked up and taken in by Pingree. Back to Adams at the back line. Oh, bad pass off the side of the foot, picked up by Cannon Clark. Clark looking to his left. They had to stop the run as he gets past 2. Really good body play on the back end of that by Ezekiel Taylor.
Not the prettiest defense, but it worked, and recovering from that bad turnover, that could have gone really poorly, but Logan gets away with it for the moment.
Ball quickly into Jewel Garcia. Heavy touch as he tries to get that back to the throw-in. Green Canyon will recover at midfield as the field is turning white quickly, Jason.
Yeah, these guys, you can tell by the way they're walking on the field, they're kind of walking on their toes, just trying to make sure that they get their footing properly so they don't fall on their rear at some point.
Good ball way up high is Cannon Clark, a good 4 feet offsides, and the flag shoots up. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Green Canyon starting 11. A big hole as Colby Knight hurts his ankle on Tuesday in Smithfield, and he is not playing for Green Canyon for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, leading goal scorer at 18 goals, but in goal they've got Gage Sorensen, and they have Aaron Stevens, Luke Whitby, Mason Sadler, Jackson Steed, Gil Garcia, Cannon Clark. He'll be a big makeup. He's got the 9 goals, 9 assists. And they got Nixon Harris, Jackson Porter, Stockton Ashcroft, 11 goals on the season for him, and then Kaysen Thompson rounding out the starting 11.
Just over 2 minutes down now at Logan High as this one's scooped up by Sorensen inside his own 18 pretty easily. And Green Canyon will play off the back line. Just under the foot of the intended target, number 16, Nixon Harris there. And you can tell that ball's really skipping low and quick off the turf.
Yeah, so I thought it was going to slow down, but with it snowing, it's getting faster. Maybe I forgot what effect water has on turf.
Running this one down is Cannon Clark. Zeke Taylor misses that ball. Now Clark's going to throw his body in the way to get back to it, but cannot stop that ball from running out over the far touchline.
And a smaller attacker going after the bigger defender. Didn't end up winning the throw-in there, but love the effort there from the attacker, trying to make something happen one-on-one.
We were here at Logan 9 days ago for the match between the Grizzlies and the Mountain Crest Mustangs. Logan would come out on top 3-1 in that one, and Zeke Taylor, a big reason for that, played a great defensive match for Logan. Now a great ball down the right wing for Green Canyon. The flag goes up, though, on the far side, and just a hair off was Jackson Steed for Green Canyon.
Now you mentioned Zeke Taylor. He had the 2 goals for Logan in that previous matchup between the Grizzlies and Wolves. Although also 2 goals in that game, Colby Knight. So in that 4-2 matchup, the last time these two teams met, they were up in North Logan. Lots of goals scored, but Green Canyon coming away with that one.
Nice knockdown by Garcia at midfield to win it back for Green Canyon. Under hits that ball through the middle for Jackson Porter, and now Logan has it back on the near side of the pitch. Trying to move back towards midfield, overrun by the defense. Clark pressing high up the field, and a nice deflection from Porter is going to get him the ball. And then Clark tripped up as he tried to work his way to midfield. That was, I thought, a clean tackle. Just got a little too much ankle.
I thought he basically tripped him with the challenge hitting the ball. Like, tripped him with the ball, basically. And I think the referee saw him go down.
Ooh, dangerous spill there by Felix. Slowed down a little bit before he could get to the goal line. Looks like Clark was trying to chip it over the top for Garcia on that right side and just could not get through.
So Logan controlling here. Trying to move it up the field.
Headed around at midfield. Ashcroft now pressing for Green Canyon. This is back for the Grizzlies, taken in by Quinn Pingree, playing with his older brother Jace Pingree out there. Pingree had an amazing overhead goal against Mountain Crest last time we were here on this field. Through the middle now for Ashcroft, running down the right side. Now looks to his left, long left-footed shot up and over the football crossbar. Really good look from Jackson Porter.
Yeah, good look, but it's going to be hard to be clinical with your scoring, and perhaps that's where Green Canyon will have the advantage. They've got some clinical scorers on this team, but who knows, maybe it'll hurt them, because if Logan gets a lucky goal here, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you can't keep your footing and get a clean shot off, you may not have a chance to beat the keeper the way you normally get to on the soccer field here.
We've completely lost the lines on the field as well. It's going to be hard to keep track of the touch lines.
Yeah, we'll see if they may have to bring out the snow shovels to get all the lines. Wonder if we'll have a stoppage of play at some point for that.
Interception by Ashcroft at midfield. Now Cannon Clark takes it off a heavy touch. Clark threw some pressure. Now a great stand-up tackle and clearance from the Grizzlies back to the 50.
A fantastic defense there and a lovely step.
Heavy pass. Ends up getting to Ashcroft off a bounce. Now down the near side, Porter. Off a Grizzly, finds Ashcroft again. Ashcroft will drop it back to the back line. Little over 5, almost 6 minutes have been played in the first half at Logan High. Still 0-0. Green Canyon, most of the possession, but no real scoring chances either end so far.
Yeah, Logan's had a few thoughts into the Green Canyon half, but yeah, largely controlled by the Wolves, and we'll see if they can build something.
Excellent weighted ball down that right side. It is going to leak just too far in towards the 18, and it's knocked away from Jackson Steed making the run, but it'll be a Green Canyon throw. I would imagine parallel with the 18. I just can't see where the 18 is.
Yeah, so that's where we're assuming the 18 is. I know you mentioned the Green Canyon hasn't had any chances yet, a real chance, but they had a lot of half chances so far.
Now Clark from that far side, running across the top of the 18, trying to center that, and it's knocked off. Kaysen Thompson making the run. Still bouncing around as Mason Sadler will win it back for Green Canyon. Sadler pokes it around one, gets it to Garcia, trying to work it further down that left wing, cleared out for now. Back to Ashcroft. Ashcroft through 2 Grizzlies, and he is going to draw the foul after overhitting that one down the right wing.
Yeah, a bit of contact there between Logan, just tripping him up a little bit, and the referee was waiting to see if there was some advantage, and rightfully so, and then when it didn't quite pan out, calling that foul. And in a really good position for a crossing here. Could see something crazy happen with this weather if that ball starts bouncing around.
It's going to be a free kick, guesstimating 25 to 30 yards from goal on the far side of the pitch. Off center, probably even with the side of the 18, so add 5-6 yards for lateral distance. We'll call it 30 yards. 32-30 remaining in the first half, 7.5 minutes down in Logan, and the weather just keeps getting worse. Crossing in towards the near post, Ashcroft almost had a head to it, but it's knocked down to the far side.
Could have been a better cross, but still a good opportunity. You get it in that score, in that position, you got to at least give it a try. Just couldn't quite get it past that first line of defense.
Good idea by Chikamoto there, trying to touch it down to the far sideline. Zeke Taylor making the run up the left wing, but hit it a little too heavy. Another throw for Green Canyon. They give it right back.
And it's kind of weather, you're just going to get a lot of those little mistakes.
Heavy touches back and forth. Clark trying to run onto that ball. It takes a little bit of a tug, but he's going to work free.
See, as much as Logan's been up to the task defensively so far, they got to not only break this, but get something going.
Great cross for Ashcroft off the chest. Heavy touch, trying to slide in and finish it, and then Porter skies it. Had an empty net 3 yards in front of him, and he sent it to the moon.
Yeah, he stood at the 6-yard box, and he's going to see that shot in his sleep if he doesn't get one in here, because I thought he had that dead to rights, was going to put it in, and once he kicked it, he immediately put his hands to his head. He's frustrated with himself.
He's still kind of kicking his feet, 30 yards from goal now. 8.5 down in Logan. We've got our first substitution as Giovanni Popoca is going to come onto the field, off the field, replaced by Miles McNulty, or was it Chucky Poma that got subbed off? It was.
McNulty's coming in.
Yeah, McNulty came in for Chucky Poma, not for Popoca. They read off the wrong name there. Knocked down for Ashcroft. He's going to try and go back through the middle. Taken away. Now the Grizzlies are going to run this one down on the right wing if they can get to it before the touchline, and it is just barely kept in. Alexander Tenna has it knocked off his foot for a Logan corner.
I don't even know where the line is. I wasn't sure how close he was getting to it.
It looks like our line judge here on the near side is literally walking down the touchline as far as he can tell just to see where that ball is going to go. We've got a corner on the near side of the field. Just about 10 minutes into this one. 9.5. I think they're going to let Tenna take this one after winning it himself.
The flag blew over. Are they going to try and put it back up?
He tried to pick it up a couple seconds ago, and it fell over again because the ground's uneven now because of the snow. Left-footed in-swinger to the near post, headed off the near post by Green Canyon.
That is not nearly high enough. Do you need to get some height on that one? Didn't even have a chance.
Couple bodies go flying as Porter tried to win it back for Green Canyon at midfield. Logan back down the near side. Tenna drops it off. Popoca trying to go through the middle. Underhits that one a little bit. It's deflected a couple times. Grizzlies still have it. Pingree forward to the top of the 18. Knocked down. Almost an opportunity for McNulty and finally cleared out for a Logan throw.
Oh, just one more clean touch could have set up a chance for the Grizzlies, but just not quite there. And Green Canyon showing their good defensive skills for the first time today.
29-20 remaining in the first half of action here at Logan High. This is Region 11 Soccer on KVNU 102.1 FM, 610 AM, and 100.9 Light FM. Your video experience is powered by Adams Wealth Advisors. You can expect specific guidance from advisors who adhere to principles of honesty, professionalism, and integrity. Visit adamswealthadvisors.com. I think the Grizzlies might be looking for a long throw, so he's going to mark the touch line. Does a good job to keep the toe behind it. Couldn't get all of a throw behind. Now, Konosuke Chikamoto could not get that inside of the near post. Really good opportunity.
I think it was deflected kind of right as he was hitting us. That's where we're getting a corner for the Grizzlies. They're second in the last minute or so. So we'll see if they can get another good look. Last kick was a little low. Get a little more height.
Looked like that was knocked out off that near post by Aaron Stevens. Now another corner. Nice back heel touch. Gage Sorensen is going to keep this one alive, though.
A little skill check there. Not quite on frame, but I don't know. Do I give him a shot for that?
Drop kick Sorensen. Cannon Clark wanting a bounce there. It's not going to happen. Really good touch and clear by Kaysen Adams.
So the Grizzlies exploring a little bit more on offense there, and that's what they need. They've been holding off Green Canyon really well, keeping them from getting a full, well, they got the one full chance there. But getting a few offensive opportunities themselves is going to be really helpful in managing to split this series where they lost the first one against Green Canyon earlier this year.
Now just over 12 minutes have been played here in Logan, Utah. 0-0 as Green Canyon has a throw. Trying to get out of that defensive third. They get to midfield but turn it over again. McNulty settles that one, gets away from some pressure.
They missed a run down the sideline.
So we will go all the way back for Zeke Taylor on the back line. Switches it to the near side. And they tried to get that up for Adams. Mason Birch just overhit it.
Yeah, Adams just wasn't ready for that run. He was playing into the space where Adams was maybe supposed to be or where he thought he was going to be, but wasn't quite ready for it.
Wolves having trouble getting up to the 50 right now, and that one goes off the wrong part of the foot for Steed. It's another turnover.
We're getting cold now as the players start getting gloves. Adams got gloves from the sideline. Normally you can kind of survive out there with the shorts and the T-shirt, though sometimes you do need gloves because those parts getting cold.
Great read for Ashcroft at midfield. Puts perfect amount of weight on that, but the flag goes up behind the play. Cannon Clark still running, and Zeke Taylor makes the tackle anyway.
I'm wondering if some of those players were on, or because I wasn't sure the referee was going to call it, but then he did raise the flag as the center.
And I think we just had a clock stoppage signal here. I think the officials are going to try and get some shovels out to mark off the lines because I didn't think that was offside from where we're seeing. But we don't have any lateral lines on the field to tell.
Yeah, it was really close. I thought they just about timed that right. And so I was kind of looking at the ref and thought maybe he was going to let him on. But then he did ultimately call him off. Referee having a conversation with Natalie Norris. At least I assume that's Natalie Norris. Everyone's wearing hoods on the sideline. So I don't know what they're having a conversation over. I thought they were going to mark the side. It looks like they've marked this near sideline. Somebody's gone and...
Yeah, someone's kind of shuffling down the near touchline.
Yeah, someone's just walking up and down, dragging their foot. I don't know if they've done that on the far sideline. They haven't done it around the goal box. So I
think the official, he's now on the other side talking to Coach Steed Coach Sadler for Green Canyon. All right, we're not waiting for the shovels. They'll let them get back underway. Only thing I can think for Coach Norris there is maybe she was saying, hey, the flag guy ran a good 10, 20 yards downfield from where the offside was actually called.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much.
No,
especially
that's a really good weighted pass for Porter, and he is onside, takes it to the right side, right-footed shot, and he chunked it. Man, he is having a nightmare start to this one, Jason.
Well, and it's just so hard to get that proper kickoff because you got to worry about your plant foot. Is it going to slip? Can you get under the ball properly? Because now there's like a little bit of snow underneath it, so the ball's maybe a little higher up than you're used to. There are so many different things that change when you're playing in the snow that you're just not used to.
26 minutes remaining now in the first half as Porter does make a nice recovery run and knocks it out for a Logan throw. They'll drop this all the way back to Felix, and he takes his right foot all the way back to the 50. Bounces off of, I believe that was Jewel Garcia, and he lost track of it, so it's picked up by Sadler. Now to the near side, Porter. Great combination play with Ashcroft. Porter makes the cut to the right, now hits it with the right foot and just couldn't get the boot wrapped around it. Never curled back towards that far post. 25.5 to go in the first half. Green Canyon really starting to find some good looks, just cannot put anything on Jesus Felix right now.
Yeah, I don't think they've actually made him make a save yet. I think he's touched the ball a couple of times, but just not been truly tested. But it's hard to get those clean shots off. Yeah,
like you were saying, Jason, the plant foot thinking it's going to slip. How do you deal with that if you're moving through this game? Do you kind of just look for some dry spots, or do you just have to trust it and take a slip every now and then?
I don't know. Maybe at one point you just go for it.
That's going to be a clear whistle there against Garcia as he comes in from behind and gets all leg.
Yeah, I think at some point maybe you just go for it and see if you slip, and then maybe you trust it, or you just walk on ice the whole game and just deal with it. It's hard.
Hard left-footed shot. Sorensen punches it away, and it's going to be knocked off the back line by Steed. That was a dangerous rebound opportunity. And Sorensen's not usually one to put his defense in jeopardy, but that was a heart-in-throat moment for Green Canyon.
Well, you talk about the players and they're playing like goalkeepers. So much goalkeeping is footwork and being in the right spot. And if you can't trust your planting and going back and forth, it could be awkward for the goalkeepers shuffling around there at half speed.
And you got to think, too, the punch comes from there because he's afraid that it's not going to stick to the gloves, right?
Yeah, you don't feel comfortable catching in this kind of weather unless you're just away from the frame of goal.
Another short cross there ends up off the back of the head of McNulty and out for a Gage Sorensen kick. And again, just, another corner where Logan doesn't quite get it to where they need to in the box. It's all conditions here. The field is completely white. We can't see any field markings anymore, and it looks like it might be slowing down a tiny bit, but not much. Long shot is well wide, as Sorensen was pretty far off his line. That's just how he plays, though.
Yeah, we're racking up shots here. I believe I've got 4 for the Wolves and Logan with 4 as well. Technically 1 shot on goal for the Grizzlies, although Green Cane should have at least 1 shot on goal. Gave up probably one of the best chances they'll have in the first half, although knowing Green Canyon, they average 4.5 goals a game. They'll get another one.
And they typically do turn into a second-half team in most of their matches, especially in region play so far. Garcia keeps that on. Now Cannon Clark on the run. The flag comes up 5 seconds late, and Garcia's not happy about that call.
Yeah, I think it was the right call, though. I think he was about basically 1 body length offside. I know these referees are waiting. Technically, it's how you're supposed to wait until he touches it and all that, but it's still frustrating, when you've made the run and touched the ball and the ref says, oh, you were offside, so we don't count it.
It's a lot better than what they're doing in the MLS nowadays, though, and letting them go and score before they come back and call it offside.
And then they're like, let's do a 3-minute, review and double check if you were offside. It's like, just if he's offside, make the call, guys.
22 minutes in, about 35 seconds remaining now in the first half, still 0-0. Both teams finding a couple chances, but it's just pure snowy chaos out there in the first bit of this match.
Which can be either really fun or really frustrating. Part of that depends on where you're sitting sometimes, whether you enjoy these games or not.
We're indoors, so I'm having fun now.
Yeah, we're doing all right watching these guys slip around. Kudos to the crowd here powering through it. And many of them very well prepared. There's umbrellas all over the place.
Good touch for Cannon Clark to knock that down at midfield. Now goes to the left. That is going to be another flag on Green Canyon.
Yeah, they had 4 guys offside, every one of them. Logan, very well execution of the offside trap this entire game, keeping Green Canyon from getting these runs properly.
21 minutes, 45 seconds remain now in the first half. Grizzlies still trying to get some sort of meaningful look down to our right as they attack left to right in this first half. They'll switch to Mason Birch on the far side. Birch down the wing. Good pass back towards the middle. They were looking for Pingree, but it's under hit. Potential turnover as Ashcroft gets a foot in there, but it's back to Logan. More heavy touches, but really good by Chikamoto at midfield to win it back. Then his pass is errant and intercepted.
A lot of great work, but then just one more bad pass gives it right back to the Wolves.
Birch heads that down. It falls right to Ashcroft. He goes to his left. Now some hand fighting against Isaka Hidimana and a clearance from Felix right at the end line.
I'm going to be honest, I think that went over the end line.
I agree with you, but the line judge was not down there and he didn't see it.
And I'm not sure I can tell that's the right line anyway. Oh, and
nice pass down the right wing for Chikamoto, and the flag goes up on him. He was half a step offside.
Yeah, a little harder to tell from my angle that's offside, but I'll assume the referee's standing right there. He's probably on top of it.
20 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the first half, and now I think both sets of bleachers are not thrilled about the flags lately, but like you're saying, Jason, I think they're the right calls. It's just a horse's hair of a difference.
I'm not sure I've seen a call that I truly disagree with yet, so I think the referee's doing a fine job. Other than that, one is out of bounds, but given the field conditions, I'm not really going to blame the referees for out-of-bounds calls in this game.
Yeah, because who knows if we even see the line right either. A nice turnover again at midfield for the Grizzlies. Trying to build an attack now. Chipped over the top, but just too far to the right. Headed back up the field.
It was good awareness to turn around and look for that run on the backside, but didn't execute the pass right.
And then Green Canyon's just going to boot it back to the Logan back line. Garcia wanted some time to readjust, but he knocks down the pass at midfield. Couldn't get a good foot on the second ball. Through the middle, sliding save right at the last second from Kason Thompson. It would have been one-on-one for Chikamoto if he could have got to that one.
Yeah, great opportunity for the Grizzlies, snuffed out by the sliding tackle. Get a little extra length on those slides now in these conditions. That's one positive.
It's not going to hurt as bad either.
Yeah, that's probably the bigger positive is the fact that it won't hurt as bad. You won't have the black chips in the rubber pelts in your skin.
Chikamoto tripped up there as Aaron Stevens came up short of the ball. Not too heavy, not malicious, so they're going to keep the card in the pocket. 19 minutes remaining in the first half.
Yeah, it just trips him up. Only a little harm, so only a little foul. So we cross under 19 minutes to play in this scoreless one.
I think this is going to be about 35 yards out, but pretty middle of the pitch here for the Grizzlies, so they'll be looking, I'd imagine, to go on goal with Zeke Taylor.
And just maybe look for a rebound. You know, you're probably not going to get it past him, but you might be able to get a rebound.
Taylor crashes the box instead. Right foot of Chikamoto goes right to Sorensen. He spills it, and it's followed in by the Grizzlies. That's the conditions coming back to haunt Gage Sorensen, and he's asking questions of his back line. How come 4 Grizzlies got through unattended? It's 1-0 Logan with 18:31 to play in the first half.
I mentioned it, just go right at him, and as I said, you weren't going to get it by Gage, but the conditions, he can't catch it cleanly, and Jace Pingree goes in there and just sends it right into the back of the net from point-blank range. Grizzlies go up 1-0.
It's the 5th goal of the season for Pingree. He leads this Grizzly offense, and like you said, defending home field early on, 18.5 to play in the first half, 1-0 Grizzlies on senior night.
That's absolutely massive for the Grizzlies, getting ahead of a high-scoring Green Canyon team in these kind of conditions. Not going to slow down yet, but if you hang on to this and maybe you can, you know, if you get late into the game and you got this 1-0, you can maybe park the bus, as they've been very good against Green Canyon, but you can't slow down yet against this team. You can't assume you're going to hold him for another, 60 minutes.
Runs off the near touchline for a Green Canyon throw into Cannon Clark. He's going to have to knock it right back to Thompson. Hitamana gets there. Trying to play pass on the back line. Green Canyon's passing is uncharacteristically poor right now, Jason.
Yeah, that's sometimes these conditions can turn fantastic teams immortal all of a sudden. And where the Wolves have been an offensive machine all year. But you got to give a lot of credit to the Grizzlies for a lot of other aspects of this game. They've allowed 9 goals in their last 8 games, whereas in the first 4 games they allowed 20 goals. So they have made massive improvements to this defense as of late.
Headed off the top of the 18 by Stevens. Now a bit of a weird spinner, gives that back to Cannon Clark. He takes a bump trying to get back to the ball. Now they go near side for Hitamana. Can he run it down to the touchline? No, runs out of space in front of the Logan Grizzly bench.
That's self-preservation because he maybe could have got that, but then he would have gone head first into that metal bench.
Poked out on the near side again by Luke Whitby. 17 minutes and some change remaining in the first half. 1-0 Logan thanks to Jace Pingree. The Grizzlies have another throw in the attacking half.
Trying to extend their win streak. They've got a couple wins in a row. Try and make it 3 straight and get revenge over the Wolves for that 4-2 loss earlier in the year. They were tied at halftime in that game. They gave up 2 goals in the second half to fall on the road.
They would also put Green Canyon on their first losing streak of the season. They've not lost back-to-back yet. That's a little bit of an extra push from Hitamana, and he's going to get away with it.
Yeah, that'll draw some disapproval from the crowd. It's borderline. Although not calling that just created that physical challenge from Logan, though they got away with it too. So I guess that's the physicality we get.
Little tit for tat there for the Grizzlies, but it works out for them. They've got another throw at the top of the attacking third now, a little closer to goal. Short throw to Chikamoto, trying to work his way down the right wing, opens it up for a cross, then shoots that all the way across the 18.
He got a lot of that for his weight going away from the ball. He managed to get that quite a ways. An impressive cross.
Back to the far side. Entry ball just leaks a little too far inside. Knocked out for a Logan throw with less than 16 to go.
Yeah, didn't get anything immediately from that cross, but did get themselves a throw-in eventually. I don't know if they tried a long throw-in, but I don't know if they can get these drying off the ball. Maybe they're going to try.
Long throw was towards the center of the box, but the first person there was Mason Sadler. Now here comes Green Canyon on the counter. Down the right side, heavy ball is way too far out in front of Bennett Campbell. But then a bad pass gives it back to Cannon Clark. Clark through the middle. Can't get through the Logan Grizzlies sandwich, but gets back to that one with a little extra physical contact.
And Green Canyon couldn't get that run, but they maintained possession for the moment.
Hitamana had it poked away, slides back in there to get to the ball. That was all ball. Trips up Pingree on the back end of it. But now Logan has it again. Some help from Ashcroft gets it back. Back to Sadler. Sadler trying to chip that through for Campbell, and he got held back just enough at the 18. Spilled, though, by Felix, and that's out for a Green Canyon corner.
And so we've seen it now from both goalkeepers. They just can't field the ball quite cleanly. Felix has had a couple of moments where it fell out of his hand. Sorensen, obviously, with the more disastrous drop there, as he couldn't fill his cleanly, resulted in a goal.
Well, the gloves are wet, the ground's wet, and the ball is wet, and that's not going to help.
That is a poor trio of conditions.
Ashcroft from the far side. Right foot outswinger over everyone, almost finds Cannon Clark in the middle. Now Felix jumps up to punch it away. Sadler thought about a volley. Now here comes Chikamoto in space. Green Canyon's only got 3 back there. 2 and Cason Thompson on the run. Thompson slides in. Heavy touch from Chikamoto, but it's a nice pass down the right wing picked up by Tena. Just keeps it alive, but Green Canyon gets to it next. Cleared out for Jace Pingree. 14 minutes to play in the first half. Pingree working back towards the middle of the field. To the top of the 18, poked away by Steed. And then that's going to be a call against Pingree as he jumps over the back of Cannon Clark. Comes down to make his apologies and run back up the field.
Yeah, it's a little too much contact. Not quite clean contact, so that's where he's going to get that one.
13:40 remaining in the first half. 1-0 Logan. Jace Pingree, the only name on the score sheet so far.
And Logan will be certainly content to keep it that way. Green Canyon's mounted a couple of really good offensive challenges, but from my talent, I don't think they have a shot truly on goal yet.
They've had a couple inside the 6 that have both gone up and over the crossbar.
Yeah, they should have 1 or 2 more shots on goal, but haven't been as clinical as you would expect from a team that's got 44 goals in 10 games.
Garcia picks up a heavy touch. Green Canyon will play pass on the back line just behind the 50, trying to get it up into the attacking third, but really having a tough time at midfield today. Usually they are the team in control of midfield, but the Grizzlies have done a great job of shutting them down, and there's another example.
And that's where these improvements, I mentioned their struggles on defense, and a lot of that comes from being able to control in the midfield and prevent your defense from having to make that last step and all those different things. And so that's where the Grizzlies have been much better of late and in region play.
Takes a bounce for Chikamoto. Sorensen way outside the 18, clears that away. That's a good play by Sorensen off the line, and that's why he does play so aggressively off the back line.
Yeah, you can be a real asset to your defense if you can step up and make their job easier by being good on your feet.
Great bait and switch there from Mason Birch, but the next pass is intercepted by Green Canyon. Ashcroft under pressure at midfield. Gets knocked down after he gets the pass off. Now trying to chip over the top for Cannon Clark. But it's going to be very, very hard to get past the body of Zeke Taylor.
And I'm loving what Zeke Taylor's doing today. Like, these forwards, they're trying to use their speed against him, but he's keeping up and not letting them beat him on the run. Or, in a lot of cases, they've executed that offside trap. So great stuff from the back line of the Grizzlies so far today.
Under 12 to play in the first half. Garcia turns around that right side, trying to cross back into the middle for Clark, and it's headed away by Birch. Bouncing around the top of the attacking third. Falls for Ashcroft, trying to work back through 3 Grizzlies. Now left foot, beautiful pass for Hitamana. His right-footed shot is knocked back by Felix. Great save by the Logan goalkeeper.
That was kind of an awkward situation for him.
And then a foul called on Ashcroft. He gets tugged down by Pingree, and the Logan crowd is not happy about it. Jason, what are you thinking?
I was starting to look up the field, so I didn't quite see the point of contact. Although, where it's at, I'm wondering, like, is it in the box? Because I can't tell where the box is.
I think they're looking for the top of the 18, but from what I can tell, probably a couple yards shy of it.
I honestly think he's going to... Yeah, I feel like he could have found the top of the 18. He was probably... The way when he called that, he was saying, I'm going to call that outside the box no matter what. I don't think that's a foul most people are going to call for penalties. But, yeah, it's after getting a save, first shot on goal for the Wolves, you get a nice save. Couldn't quite catch it cleanly, so had to let it get deflected out. And then that led to another opportunity for the Wolves, and we'll see if they put this one on frame.
Cannon Clark, the only one standing over it. just to the left of goal, 25 yards out. He goes for goal, and a great save by Felix on a full extension. This will be a corner for Green Canyon on the far side, but that's 2 big saves for Jesus Felix in the last 2 minutes.
And the way they set up that wall, you had to know he was going far post, and Felix knew he was going far post, and so he was ready for that, able to get to it and get 2 hands on it, punch it away.
Ashcroft with the outswinger from the far side. Long cross to the near post. Headed back, overhead try by Campbell is wide off the near side.
Yeah, cheeky little bicycle kick there. Couldn't quite get it on frame. High schoolers tend not to be able to pull that off very well, but hey, what the heck. Might as well try. You only live once.
Good sportsmanship there between Campbell and Amperez, who kind of collided inside the 18, helping each other back up after the play. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Still 1-0 Logan. Jace Pingree with our only goal, 21 and a half minutes into this contest.
And Green Canyon really pushing for that late first half goal, trying to even this one up. Because you don't want to let Logan go in with that confidence of having a 1-0 lead over you.
Ball still bouncing around. That was last touch Ashcroft, and he's going to get away with it because he was covered up by 2 Grizzlies.
Yeah, the referee, sometimes you're just not in the right spot, and you got to make a decision, and unfortunately some people have a better view than you.
Short throw in. Knocked back and away from Kaysen Thompson. Chikamoto just has to beat one. But a great chip off the near side by Aaron Stevens will force a throw, and the defense can reset.
As they might say, ball don't lie.
9 minutes, 10 seconds remaining now in the first half.
Just a heads up, they fall down really easily.
9 minutes remaining now in the first half of action as the throw comes in. Stepped on the near side, and then finally ricochets out off a Grizzly for a Green Canyon throw.
See, I thought it was a handball for a second, but the referee was signaling throw. Might have just been ball to hand there. Just kind of let it go.
Especially if it's outside the 18, I think any of those incidentals you'll just let go. Nice pass through for Chikamoto. Flag stays down. His shot punched away by Sorensen, kept in play, cleared out outside the 18 by a couple yards. Now a follow-up from way downtown is going to go up and over the end line.
The ballsy decision to kick it back in toward the center of the field, trying to prevent the corner, so that's what he's trying to do. And sometimes that is the last and worst thing you can do. But he gets it far enough out that it ends up working out for him.
Little more than 8 minutes remaining now in half number 1. Sorensen sends this away pretty low. Sent to the near side. And a big shove from behind there is going to win Logan a throw as that ball runs out of space.
I thought that should have been a foul, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I think there was a little too much shoulder in there. And now Logan's going to have another throw.
Everyone's fighting, saying it's every out of bounds they're contending who it should be off of. I thought the problem would be identifying the line, not who went out on.
Thrown by Adams. They'll go back to the near side for him, and he tried to cross it in, just sliced it off the outside of the foot.
Yeah, again, you'll see a lot of those with the conditions.
7.5 minutes remaining now in the first half. Still 1-0 Logan. This is Region 11 Soccer on KVNU 102.1 FM and 610 AM. Also 100.9 Light FM. Brought to you by Preston Watts Collision and Glass. Trained technicians, the latest equipment, and over 5 decades of experience to guarantee a perfect auto body repair and the safest glass replacement. Throw in now for Green Canyon on the far side of the field off that goal kick and a couple deflections. Knocked down. Still fighting for it at midfield. Sadler couldn't get a clean foot to it. Garcia comes back to help. Now Logan along the 50 trying to cut back towards the middle of the field. Good passing through midfield. Here's Pingree. To his right, finds Chukipoma.
Good connections from the Grizzlies here.
Heavy touch by Chukipoma and a great clearance from Jackson Porter as he forces his body in between Chukipoma and the ball.
And just tried to make that final move, just couldn't quite make it stick.
Fighting for it again on this near side. That'll be a Logan throw.
I couldn't have told you that, because when they both kick it at the same time and then it goes out of bounds, like, who on earth are you supposed to give the ball to?
I think it's the tie goes to the runner mentality there.
I guess. That was always my nightmare when I was used to officiating. It's like, what happens when they both kick it? Who am I supposed to give it to?
Long throw coming in from Logan from the near side, headed off the top corner of the 6, and a long shot goes up and over the scoreboard. That'll take 2 bounces and probably end up in the softball field.
Yeah, just a little too ambitious there. I think I'm not 100% sure if he was going for a shot or a cross. Either way, it did not do its intended goal. Maybe be a little more conservative with that. Could maybe generate another chance here with just under 6 to play in the opening half.
under 6, like you were saying, in the first half. It looks like for now the snow has stopped falling from the sky, so hopefully we'll be able to clear the field a little bit at halftime. Bouncing ball down that far wing, chased out by the Grizzlies for a throw.
They got like a snowplow they can bring out here and just like plow the entire field?
Someone's got to have a snowblower around here somewhere.
Snowblower might not work. The snow might be too wet for that.
Headed back up the field by Sadler, was looking for Clark. Cleared back to Sadler. Makes a nice touch, but it's taken off his foot. Now chipped over the top. Chikamoto just had one more to beat. Kason Thompson would not be beat.
Clutch defense there, preventing a 1v1 against the keeper.
Now Ashcroft turning through midfield, trying to get back to his left. Slips a little bit, got a tug from a Grizzly, and the whistle went in and then out of the mouth of the official. No call.
Yeah, he stood over that for a while thinking, am I going to call this? And then for a second I thought he might be ready to call something for Logan if advantage didn't work, but just swallowed the whistle.
Bounces up and over Ashcroft now, deflected back towards him, and he wins a foul at midfield. That, I think, might be a makeup call for the last one because that wasn't a foul.
Yeah, he's saying there was a tug. It's hard. He's calling it after the play, and I've already looked away. So he seems to be calling that tug a lot against the Grizzlies.
And it's made to look worse, too, because of the traction conditions on the field.
Yeah. He seems to be letting a lot of the body contact go, which I appreciate. I like referees who let the body contact go, unless it's too excessive. But
it's the hand fighting and the jersey tugging.
Yeah, he's not going to let that go, which that's usually where the line gets crossed.
Good run from Garcia, deflected off of a Grizzly. It's Zeke Taylor in the way of that cross. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Another corner for Green Canyon, and it'll be Stockton Ashcroft again from the far side.
And so we've got a couple of corners for each of the teams so far in this game. I think Green Canyon had 3 because they had 2 in a quick succession.
Another outswinger. This one way too low and headed off of 2 Grizzlies. Through the middle, they try and go left side. Pingree making a run, had to come back to it, and Garcia knocks it away.
Counterattack kind of stalled there.
Cannon Clark about 5 yards offside there. Felix came out to slide and
he was so
knocked
offside.
That away.
He was so offside he didn't even try. Again, just pulling the rug, you might say, on that offside trap. I forget what the exact term is for springing the trap on offside. But Logan has done it fantastic this half.
Oh, that one takes an awkward bounce. Grizzlies are going to keep this one after Green Canyon overruns it. But then another heavy touch gives it back. Here's Ashcroft trying to work through the middle, cuts to his right. Immediately picks up a triple team. Now he forces one through the middle for Clark. Touches that one off Felix, and it's cleared away by the Grizzlies. Knocked down by Pingree, and he's going to keep that in.
And miscommunication, I think, there between defender and goalkeeper. Would have been better for the defender to just let that one go because Felix wasn't quite quick enough to get there before the attacker had a chance to make something happen.
Another takeaway at midfield by the Grizzlies. They go left side. Chikamoto looking for the right foot. Gets there. Skipper into Sorensen is scooped up, and Chikamoto not happy with the connection.
Yeah, still got a decently clean shot on goal, but not nearly enough to beat the hands of Sorensen.
2:20 remaining in the first half. Garcia ran through the back as he tried to knock that down.
A little too much knee in the back of a Green Canyon player there.
They go quickly down the near side for Porter. Takes a heavy bounce on him. He was onside. He'll keep this in, trying to go back for Kason Thompson, who gets shoved, and then Porter trying to recover.
Yeah, strong shoulder tackle there, but as the referee lets him do that, and so they're going to keep playing like that. Green Canyon's got to adjust.
Poked away at midfield again, trying to work through the middle. Cannon Clark gets tripped up, and that is going to be a penalty. Clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity denied, and a Dogso penalty coming, or is it going to be a free kick? He pointed towards the spot. Now he's pointing at the spot of the foul, so it's just going to be a free kick.
Yeah, I don't think, mind you, I can't see where the line of the box is, but I'm pretty sure it was outside the box.
I thought initially it was Dogso because Cannon Clark got tripped up. He was the only one on his way to goal.
I don't think it quite amounts to Dogso. Of course, that would be a red card if it is, but I think the
card stays in. He keeps him outside the 18.
But even that close to goal, sometimes you even give a yellow card for that situation if it's not quite Dogso. But you give up an opportunity like this, and we've just gone under a minute to play. Green Canyon could sneak a goal in.
It'll be another free kick opportunity directly in front of goal, maybe 20 yards out for Cannon Clark. He goes with it for the right foot and scores. Clark ties us up at 1 apiece with 44 seconds remaining in the first half. Didn't have to think about that one at all.
Yeah, and just you give up that foul, you let Green Cane get in, you give them an opportunity late in the half, and what advantage the Grizzlies had built, they've lost. It's not catastrophic for them, but if you're Green Canyon, this is massive for you to build that momentum going into the second half. You mentioned they're a second half team, so this is a fantastic final minute of the half. Really last 5 minutes of the half, I'd say, for Green Cane, who've been pushing hard for that goal, and they get it just now.
Cannon Clark becomes the third Green Canyon Wolf to score double-digit goals on the season. That's his 10th to go along with 9 assists. And now he's going to press hard off the kickoff. 38 seconds remaining in the half, and Logan spills it off that far touchline. Quick throw. Looking for Clark, trying to back heel Ashcroft into the zone. Now intercepts that heavy touch off the back end, and Garcia mistouched it as well. Last touch, Logan. No. Head official calls that one off of Green Canyon for a Logan throw.
That might end up sealing the half. Grizzlies might be able to amount something. But with Green Canyon and the momentum they just got, the pep in their step they have from that goal, might be better just let it go.
Countdown on here for the first half at Logan High. Popped up into the air, and that is going to do it for our first half. We are tied at 1 after 40 minutes of action. Jace Pingree, 21 minutes, 29 seconds into the game, put Logan up 1-0, but then Cannon Clark on a free kick with 44 seconds remaining in the half levels us up at 1 apiece. Jason, what are you thinking after 40?
We've got a really good battle in our hands. The Grizzlies, they played 35 minutes of really good soccer here, standing up to one of the top teams not only in the region but in 4A, one of the best offenses, but those last 5 minutes just letting a few too many opportunities and then giving one more, and that's just that's the straw that broke the camel's back with the defense. They're going to have to work really hard in the second half. Green Cane, they step it up in the second half, and you got to hold them. And, of course, since they gave up that goal, Grizzlies got to come up with another one. They've only got 14 goals on the season. They don't score too much, so they're going to have to find something in their offense yet again.
Region 11 Spring Sports on KVNU 102.1 FM, 610 AM, and 100.9 Light FM is brought to you by DD Auto and Salvage, Cache Valley's #1 place to get the most money for junk vehicles and scrap metal. Also brought to you by State Farm agent Lana Powell. Does your high school student get good grades or have a good driving record? You could save money on their auto insurance. Call 435-752-7639. Now it's time for our Planet Fitness halftime break. Get energy without the punishment. Join the judgment-free zone for just $15 a month at Planet Fitness. Stockton Jukes and Jason Walker here with you. We'll be back for the second half as the Wolves and the Grizzlies head into the locker room tied at 1 on a snowy Thursday night.
We growing up, still don't seem like we slowing up. 10 squad, we throwing up every time that we showing up. Get it while I'm living. All I ever hear is the clock tick, tick, tick. So I'm about my business and I'm running.
At Planet Fitness, you'll get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this? This is better.
Join the judgment-free zone today for $15 a month. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Old Gristmill on South Main Logan, 4th North Logan, and now Smithfield offer Cache Valley that famous lunch special and natural bread baked the right way. Get your made-to-order lunch or baked goods at Cache Valley's Best of Northern Utah gold-winning bakery. The Old Gristmill, here for you.
DD Auto and Salvage is going to pay you the most for junk vehicles. Get rid of your junk vehicles today. Pickup is available. DD Auto and Salvage in Logan. Call 787-1204. That's 787-1204 today. See store for details.
Make it 3 years in a row. Advanced Heating and AC is honored to be Best of Northern Utah Gold Medalist. Thank you for your support and vote of confidence in their company. Advanced Heating and AC online at advancedheating-ac.com.
Preston Watts Collision and Glass has been your #1 resource for collision repair and auto glass. We specialize in windshield repairs. Competitive prices, call Preston Watts Collision and Glass at 563-3215. We do it right.
They really can put your logo on just about anything. That's what they do at the Logo Shop. Businesses, teams, booster clubs, school organizations, call the Logo Shop and have them show you the possibilities. The Logo Shop, committed to schools, teams, and youth groups.
When a client walks into the office, I want them to feel like they have a team that is full-time working for them.
We really start from the ground up, setting our goals, understanding your situation, and then building the plan to maximize that quality of life.
Visit Adams Wealth Advisors.
When your car isn't working right, you just need someone who can help make your life a little easier. Cache Valley Auto Care can. Hear what people are saying online.
They'll always take the time to help you understand what they're doing to your car and go above and beyond to solve your issue.
Cache Valley Auto Care.
From what's happening in local political elections, to breaking news, to photo galleries and replays of the latest games. If it's happening in our community, it's on CacheValleyDaily.com and the Cache Valley Daily app. Local, relevant news on CacheValleyDaily.com.
Searching for copiers and printers? Les Olson IT has what you need. Find reliable HP printers, award-winning Sharp copiers, and high-end Ricoh graphic systems.
Les Olson IT.
Insurance is exciting.
Are you kidding me? However, Lana Powell's State Farm Insurance makes buying insurance a little less painful. Call 752-7639 for a quick quote.
Find the parts and the oil you need to keep your car and equipment running its best at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts. All the best brand names. And when you need professional help, Napa can recommend a dozen Napa Car Care Centers with ASE certified technicians.
Great Basin Graphics does custom t-shirts and creates graphic designs that'll get your business noticed. Amazing colors and designs that seem to jump off the t-shirt. Go to GreatBasinGraphics.com.
Great Basin Graphics. We made you look.
Reactive Physical Therapy will show you what actions you can take to create the reaction you desire. Reactive Physical Therapy in Providence and North Logan. Call 435-535-3677 or reactivephysicaltherapy.com.
We need to have a conversation.
End-of-life planning is no one's favorite discussion, but the relief of having everything in place when the hour of need arrives is a gift. Plan ahead.
Joan and Josh Rudd of Rudd Funeral Home will pay attention to the details to make your service a great one. Online at ruddfuneralhome.com.
Locker 42. This is the store for Aggie fans. All your favorite apparel with an Aggie logo. Stay warm and fashionable in a cocoon blanket or a coat. Pick out a warm Aggie beanie. Choose a hat from Locker 42's wall of hats. This is the store where Aggie fans shop. Locker 42, downtown Logan.
At Planet Fitness, you'll get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this? This is better.
Join the judgment-free zone today for $15 a month. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Old Gristmill on South Main Logan, 4th North Logan, and now Smithfield offer Cache Valley that famous lunch special and natural bread baked the right way. Get your made-to-order lunch or baked goods at Cache Valley's Best of Northern Utah gold-winning bakery. The Old Gristmill, here for you.
DD Auto and Salvage is going to pay you the most for junk vehicles. Get rid of your junk vehicles today. Pickup is available. DD Auto and Salvage in Logan. Call 787-1204. That's 787-1204 today. See store for details.
Make it 3 years in a row. Advanced Heating and AC is honored to be Best of Northern Utah Gold Medalist. Thank you for your support and vote of confidence in their company. Advanced Heating and AC online at advancedheating-ac.com.
Preston Watts Collision and Glass has been your #1 resource for collision repair and auto glass. We specialize in windshield repairs. Competitive prices, call Preston Watts Collision and Glass at 563-3215. We do it right.
They really can put your logo on just about anything. That's what they do at the Logo Shop. Businesses, teams, booster clubs, school organizations, call the Logo Shop and have them show you the possibilities. The Logo Shop, committed to schools, teams, and youth groups.
When a client walks into the office, I want them to feel like they have a team that is full-time working for them.
We really start from the ground up, setting our goals, understanding your situation, and then building the plan to maximize that quality of life.
Visit Adams Wealth Advisors.
When your car isn't working right, you just need someone who can help make your life a little easier. Cache Valley Auto Care can. Hear what people are saying online.
They'll always take the time to help you understand what they're doing to your car and go above and beyond to solve your issue.
Cache Valley Auto Care.
From what's happening in local political elections, to breaking news, to photo galleries and replays of the latest games. If it's happening in our community, it's on CacheValleyDaily.com and the Cache Valley Daily app. Local, relevant news on CacheValleyDaily.com.
Searching for copiers and printers? Les Olson IT has what you need. Find reliable HP printers, award-winning Sharp copiers, and high-end Ricoh graphic systems.
Les Olson IT.
Insurance is exciting.
Are you kidding me? However, Lana Powell State Farm Insurance makes buying insurance a little less painful. Call 752-7639 for a quick quote.
Find the parts and the oil you need to keep your car and equipment running its best at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts. All the best brand names. And when you need professional help, Napa can recommend a dozen Napa Car Care Centers with ASE certified technicians.
Great Basin Graphics does custom t-shirts and creates graphic designs that'll get your business noticed. Amazing colors and designs that seem to jump off the t-shirt. Go to GreatBasinGraphics.com.
Great Basin Graphics. We made you look.
Welcome back into Logan, Utah, live on KVNU 102.1 FM 610 AM and 100.9 Light FM. This is Region 11 Soccer as we get set for the second half between the Green Canyon Wolves and Logan Grizzlies. Stockton Jukes and Jason Walker here with you from Logan High. Snowy night. The field is covered in white, but it has stopped falling, so they were able to mark off all the lines that they need to see on the field during that break. Jason, as we come into the second half here, tied at 1 thanks to Cannon Clark's free kick goal with 44 seconds left in the half. What's kind of the key to the next 40 minutes for both of these squads? Cannon Clark getting tugged a bunch, and that is going to draw a foul.
Yeah, the key, for the Grizzlies is just make sure you play about as good a defense as you did the first 35 minutes of the game, and then find yourself that next opportunity. They created a lucky opportunity, pounced on a ball that got spilled in front of the net. Jace Pingree gets that goal with just under 19 minutes left in the half. And then for Green Canyon, unleash your offense.
Great run by Garcia, but Felix beats him off the line to knock that away, and now we've got an official timeout as Felix looks to be injured. And that is incidental contact. It's unfortunate as Garcia was trying to get to that ball, but Felix, I think, took a cleat to the chest on that.
Yeah, it's a bang-bang play, and, as a man used to play keeper, I always want to feel like you protect the keepers, but striker's got a right to that ball too, and if you're not a keeper, you don't clearly get there first, get your mitts on it, then striker's got to, you might think it's unsporting to get your cleats in there, but this is soccer. We're trying to score goals here.
It's a tie game with 4 games left in region play, Jason.
Yeah, you can't expect people to pull up, especially when it wasn't a dirty hit. It was just
a well-timed run as well.
Yeah, so if he's not being dirty about it, then you can't fault him for it, but referee's going to have a talk with the coach probably over this same issue. It's like, yeah, just because there was contact doesn't mean it was dirty contact.
And to Garcia's credit, too, went back to check on Felix, and Felix did pop up, seems to be okay. We've got about 92 seconds played here in the second half. A bit of a longer stoppage as Coach Norris.
I think they're ultimately calling a foul, or maybe they're just giving a drop ball since the player went down.
I wonder if maybe, too, they called Garcia offside there because the line judge is still standing in that spot. Either way, Felix looks to be okay. Everyone's up and going, and Logan gets the free kick away to midfield. Knocked down, though, by Green Canyon. Now chipped over the top for Ashcroft. A second ball is touched a little too heavy, though. Grizzlies have it back. Awkward touch knocked back towards the Logan Grizzly back line, and then another turnover.
I mean, it is night and day. Like, Green Canyon dominated possession for the most part, but now they are just clinical with their possession and passing. Grizzlies really struggling to get a handle of it. Of course, as I'm complimenting Green Canyon, they kick it out of bounds.
And it definitely was back and forth in that first half because Green Canyon dominated for the first, I'd say, 20 minutes. And then as soon as Pingree scored, it was like Logan had full control of midfield.
All spending a lot of time on Logan's half of the field, though. Logan's defensive half. Now they've kicked out of bounds.
It'll be a throw for Green Canyon inside of the 18-yard line. Looks like they're going to have someone come up and take a long throw here. I think that's Nixon Harris. He's disappeared behind the bleachers looking for that ball.
I got to lean all the way over here to see out my window.
There he is. It is Harris.
And he's probably not going to quite throw it long.
No, he's going to keep this one.
Now he's throwing it long. Why did they say that?
Over the top, trying to get to the top of the 6 for Kanan Clark. It gets knocked right back to him. And then trying to get back onside quickly was Porter. Still bouncing around. Kason Thompson to the far side of the 18. Back across the top. Ashcroft tried to flick a back heel in there for him. Got bumped as he got the pass away. No whistle. Grizzlies trying to get a bounce here as Whitby puts his body in the way and sends it back across midfield.
See, Logan's getting these final steps and final tackles, but Green Canyon is doing a fantastic job with their touches and passes to create things when they got offense to Logan on the ball at the moment.
Chikamoto around the left corner lays one out in front of McNulty, but it's a little too heavy.
That would have been a fantastic pass. Like, the window to actually get that weighted perfectly is small enough that most pros aren't hitting it, and he wasn't too far off, to be perfectly honest.
Especially off the outside of the foot, too. That's hard to place.
The skill that would have required, and he almost got it.
Down the right wing again comes Logan. Trying to slow down a little bit is Tana on the far side. Looking for options. Picks up a double team now further down that right wing. Grizzlies looking for a cross. Low one knocked down on the near side by Stevens and cleared out for Ashcroft.
Another foot of room, and it could have found a Grizzly in the middle of the box, but Green Canyon, there's a reason they are only allowing about 1.5 goals a game on this season. They're pretty solid defense themselves.
Ashcroft went down, keeping that one for Green Canyon as he ricochets it off of a Grizzly on its way out of play. Now forward for Sadler, trying to stretch that for Kanan Clark, who slips, extending out for the ball. Ashcroft gets back to it behind the 50. Now chipped over the top for Clark. The flag stays down, and now it goes up.
See, they keep their flags down. Like, usually you try and maybe give a hint to the center referee that you're gonna call offside. Like, maybe you slow down. You're like, hey, I'm gonna call this, because normally, like, the subtle signal is you just keep it by your leg and you run. That's the I'm not going to call offside. These guys are doing that, and then they throw the flag up.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was staying down, is because he started to run with it.
Yeah, which, like, if these referees are all on the same page and that's what they're supposed to do, then I'm not going to fault them for doing that. But it can be a little confusing for the casual watcher.
And for me, Jason, I'm getting confused.
All of us are getting confused.
Just over 5 minutes have been played here in the second half. We're still tied at 1. Back in towards the Grizzly logo. Logan takes possession on the near side now as Tena knocks it down. Excuse me, that was Amperez. Amperez trying to chase this one down the near side now, and that'll be out off of a Green Canyon Wolf for a throw-in.
So that's kind of weird because he's shielding it as if it was going to be a Green Canyon throw and then end up being a Logan throw.
And Chikamoto takes a bump, and that goes off of his foot for a Green Canyon throw. Centering off the hand of Garcia, but because it ended up in an advantageous spot for the Grizzlies, I think the whistle just stays out of the mouth. It was pretty clear handball, though.
Yeah, that hurt. He couldn't even see it. He might have had a guy blocking him, yeah. But Grizzlies didn't do much with the advantage anyway.
Really good touch off the chest there for Porter. Now here's Ashcroft on the run, forces a clearance for a throw.
So the Wolves are just putting so much pressure on the Grizzly defense. We've had 3 or 4 times they've just had to kick the ball out of bounds because they had no other recourse. Where in the first half they had a lot of chances to just step in and, well, do that kind of. Well, they just kicked it out of bounds anyway. But
telegraph throw there from Ashcroft is kung fu'd out behind the visitor bleachers.
And through the gate, they have to go all the way back to one of the equipment sheds to get that.
Yeah, it's funny they disappear for a second into the building.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a lot nicer in there than it is where they're playing.
I'm sure it's warmer.
33-24 remaining in the second half. Another throw for Green Canyon is off ahead and off a boot into their bench and out for a Green Canyon throw. Thompson takes it quickly. Gets the return service, now trying to get a bounce in for Garcia. It was a little short. Clark tried to nod it on, couldn't get there. Now bounces back towards the top of the 18. Working his way in for a dangerous opportunity was Jackson Steed and forces another clearance off the near side for a throw.
And just barely saving it from being a corner. Maybe, Yeah, it's a ways down there, and I don't even know where the ball went.
It's about halfway down the 18, I think.
Yeah. I'm talking about the ball that kicked out of bounds. They had to get one from the goal.
Harris trying to get inside the 18 as Clark comes to the top. Nice touch trying to turn over the top, but really good recovery defense. I think it was, who was that? Zeke Taylor, and then Zeke Taylor gets called for the elbow there. He did extend that elbow out to the left on Cannon Clark, and it's going to be another dangerous free kick for Green Canyon.
He's gotten away with a few physical challenges there, but if you just play physical with your body, but if you start using your elbows and arms to make that primary contact, that's where this referee's drawn the line.
Well, kind of to go back to your point, Jason, he's been okay with the physical contact. He's been okay with the shoulder tackles and kind of wedging your body in there. What he's not okay with is the hand fighting and the extensions.
Yeah, and I think this referee's been pretty consistent about that, where he's fine with the body contact, but yeah, it's those extremities, which is usually where the laws of the game are trying to draw the line. So I like the way the referee's calling this game.
Gil Garcia with the free kick. Takes the right foot, low cross, looking for the oncoming Porter to knock that into the back post, and he just couldn't get there.
That was sneaky and dangerous, putting it low but out in front of the goal in no man's land where the keeper's not going to come and get it. And there's a heart-stopping moment where you're not sure who's going to get to that first, and the Grizzlies are the one who get it.
Good whistle there by the official. Ashcroft got his arm all over that thing as he went down to the ground. Quick ball in for McNulty, knocked away to the top of the 18, followed up, and an easy ground ball save off Amperez's right foot.
A couple of shots kicked right at the keeper for the Grizzlies. One late in the first half, one just there. Had a nice run up to it. Couldn't get it away from Sorensen, who had an easy save.
Steed trying to get a bounce there. Forces a bad pass to Garcia. Garcia sliding in to knock that out. Really good physical play. And it looks like Caleb Amperez did enough to put that off Garcia and keep the ball for Logan.
Yeah, I love the clean slide. I know the player does fall down, but he got all ball and just happened to kind of trip over him after the fact. Good, clean, physical play.
Up off the top of the head. Green Canyon gets it back now, just shy of midfield. Ashcroft has a lot of space out left, hits a very heavy ball for Porter, and this runs inside the 18 for Felix to clear off.
Yeah, just a little too heavy and just a little way too easy for Felix to be able to go get that one.
And then that's a bump from behind for Clark that is not going to draw a whistle again, just kind of the difference between the shoulder and the extended arm, Jason.
And the Grizzlies got away with the very similar tackles in the first half, so when it's Green Canyon's turn to do them, then you got to expect that the referee's not going to call it.
Flag goes up on the near side as that one's just a little bit off, and now the official comes to look at the side judge. He missed that offside flag for a good long while.
It's hard for referees at this level where they don't have the earpieces. A lot of times center referees, maybe they don't quite have the swivel on their head to always look at the assistant. It happens. So just eventually they find their AR and eventually they get to it.
Tell you what, the crowd wasn't going to let him miss it, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're being too harsh. Like I said, with the pros, they got the earpiece, and so the assistant says, I'm calling offside here. These guys aren't omniscient. They're human. Sometimes they forget to look at their assistant. It happens.
Just 10.5 minutes have been played here in the second half. A little less than half an hour remaining. It's another turnover for Green Canyon. And like you were saying, Jason, they've really upped the pressure to start off this second half.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Green Canyon. This is the Green Canyon.
Official gets right in the way of Stockton Ashcroft's run, and he is going to have to play a drop ball from there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, a little leg on his face after he missed the offside from his referee, and now that's another thing that just happens. It sucks when you're a referee. You try and keep close enough, but stay out of the way, and sometimes you do not find that balance, and he did not find that just then. He gets right in the way of it.
Dropped back in. Green Canyon's going to try and chip this over the top. Steed working his way back to it. Couldn't get through the body of a Grizzly. Nice ball still spinning for Logan, but then the pass to the wing under hit. Really good run for Amperez. Just couldn't get the ball.
Yeah, it was a good pass to see, but just a little more weight would have worked, and that's just soccer. Sometimes you don't hit it good enough.
And the snow is starting to kind of be quick in some spaces and slow in other spaces. It's like you were saying, really wet snow out there. So some of it's pretty slick, but then it's just kind of dying in other spots.
The places where they're running more, it's starting to clear up. The places where they've run less, you're seeing a little bit more of the snow.
Knocked down by Pingree, works to the left foot, gets a shot off, and Sorensen had the near post covered. It'll be a goal kick. 27:50 remaining in the half.
It's an ambitious attempt, and I don't know if Pingree's left-footed because that's about the only case where I'd advise that kind of attempt. But that kind of shows what the Wolves are doing, that they're putting so much pressure on the Grizzlies. They feel like the second they kind of have this half window to maybe test Sorensen, they're taking that. And so we've seen a couple of half tries from the Grizzlies that probably are never going to be
bad
Sorensen.
bounce for Green Canyon, but then a tough touch by Porter trying to work it down the field. He's not able to spring free.
I couldn't quite get that one to work. That's been the story of the night for the Green Canyon. They've been a foot away from about 7 different chances.
Whitby forced to knock that off the touchline on the far side after a bad play at midfield by Green Canyon. 27 minutes and a couple seconds remaining here in the second half. It's still tied at 1 apiece.
I don't know if I just can't count, but it just feels like there's way more white jerseys defending. It doesn't feel like the Grizzlies are throwing that many numbers forward, pushing things on offense, even when they had to throw in deep and attacking territory.
Clark sends that down the right wing. Steed is onside. It takes a heavy bounce, but he gets to it in front of the touchline. It's poked out for a Green Canyon throw, about 20, 25 yards from goal. 26 and a half minutes remain in the second half.
Right there, it took all of like 8 seconds for the Wolves to take a Grizzlies throw, even with the Wolves' 18-yard box, and they get it all the way down to basically a throw in from the same spot all the way on the other side of the field.
They try and go right inside the box down towards the end line, and that goes off of Green Canyon for a Logan throw. They kind of squandered that opportunity all on their own. 26 minutes remaining in Logan, still tied at 1. As Green Canyon has been working hard to open the second half, but here's Logan on a counter opportunity.
I think you're seeing the growing confidence, kind of similar to the first half where the Wolves started off pretty good. Then the Wolves started up a little bit. And see, there you go. That was a little bit too much shoving there. But
a good job by those two.
Yeah, hugging afterward. I think it may have just been a case of, I'm going too fast, I can't stop, and he ran into him.
Yeah, it's a hard tackle you're trying to make, and you just too much contact. As now here we come down the near side. Amperez looking for a cross. Gets the right-footed punch in. It's knocked back to the top of the 18. Clearance is whiffed by Green Canyon. Comes back to Garcia. Now here goes Cannon Clark towards midfield. 3-on-3. Down the right wing, Steed has to come in to get it and takes a heavy touch. Zeke Taylor able to recover for Logan.
That was just too easy for Taylor. He's had a fantastic game so far in this one. A little bit of hand shoving, and that's off. Yeah, that's offside. Okay. He took a long time to touch that ball, but he was offside when that got played forward. I think he tried to draw a foul, but
yeah, Whitby's going to not get a foul there purely because it was offside.
Yeah, he's not legally allowed to play the ball, so unless he decks you in the face, I don't think they're going to call a foul there.
Whitby will come up to take this free kick for Green Canyon. 24 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in the game, still 1-1. Both these teams really physical. Things really starting to amp up as we have less than 25 to play. Headed out off the near touchline for another Green Canyon throw, about probably 5 yards in front of the corner flag.
And this is about like the first half. It took them a while to ramp up, and now we're getting to the point in the second half where things started to happen. You know, the Grizzlies got their first goal as we crossed under 20 minutes left in the first half. And so I think we're going to see one of these two teams make a big push here.
They try and go to the near side of the 6. It's headed away by Taylor. Chikamoto, good touch to get around the near side corner. It's a 2-on-2. 2-on-4 now as Green Canyon collapses back on defense, and a bad pass slows down the Grizzly counter.
Yeah, just not quite fast enough, but still a chance. You got a man on the backside. We'll see if they spot him.
Down the right side, still trying to poke that open, and Jace Pingree had 20 yards of an island on the near side. No one looked towards him.
And he was screaming for the ball, but ultimately not too many opportunities. Like his teammates were too busy looking, keeping the swarm of Green Canyon defenders off of them. If they'd had a chance to get their head up, they might have crossed it over to him, maybe could have made something of it.
Substitutions now for the Grizzlies as Giovanni Popoca will come off for number 17, Lionel Chukipoma, and a couple of substitutions for Green Canyon as well. I think Bennett Campbell coming back into the midfield as Jackson Steed heads off. Back towards the top of the 18, knocked away at first. McNulty almost had it, but it's chipped to Cannon Clark in front of midfield.
Pinballing a bit, almost fell foul for the Wolves, but they managed to get control of it.
Falls for Ashcroft. He takes a bump from behind and just loses it, and just enough extension there from Chucky Poma to draw the whistle.
Yeah, he got tripped up. Referee waited for advantage, but clearly tripped up, and it affected him enough that you got to call that foul.
I like the wait for advantage there, too, because Green Canyon, if that whistle's blown prematurely, they're going to be upset.
Yeah, and I thought the referee's done a great job with how he's handled this.
Heavy ball for Clark to the end line, just outruns him. 22.5 remaining. It's a goal kick for Jesus Felix.
Yeah, I know a lot of times we get on referees for when they're inconsistent, when they don't. And so when you get a referee who's consistent, he's got a set of rules and he's playing by him. And I got to praise the referee when I see that.
Yeah, I definitely have enjoyed this officiating performance much more than the last time we were out here at Logan High. And like you said, you really got to give them props when they're due. With a little over 22 minutes to play here at Logan, Jason, do you think anyone's got the upper hand right now?
Well, I'd say Green Canyon, but it's starting to shift a little bit more toward Logan, much like we saw in the first half. So while stats and all that tell you that Green Canyon's got another goal, maybe two in them, you know, this is soccer. Sometimes stats don't mean diddly jack.
And it is, you got to keep in mind, that's a heavy foul on Ashcroft as he just got sandwiched between two Grizzlies, and I don't know how Chucky Poma's trying to appeal that.
Yeah, it's just because they've been getting away with some physical play, and maybe they're feeling like he went down too quickly. But the Grizzlies have had a few too many fouls. This one's a little further away than their other opportunities, but you know, with some of the strikers Green Canyon's got, this is going to be a difficult one for the Wall to really protect. Jesus Felix, where it was, you know, he had one in the first half. They gave up the goal because they couldn't protect enough of the goal for him to be able to protect that one side where Clark eventually put the ball in.
When you've got enough space, too, behind, this is 30 yards from goal to have it come down after it gets over the wall. 21 minutes remaining, going right for goal, and Felix punches it down. Green Canyon crashed towards the 6, but they might have been offsides. No one made a play at it.
And that punch is very much, it is wet, and I'm not going to try and catch
Big
that.
ball for McNulty. Has to beat one, gets a heavy touch to it. Sorensen off his line. McNulty gets around him. He's got an empty net, chips it towards it, and scores! Logan takes the lead with 20 minutes, 39 seconds to play. McNulty beats Sorensen, who couldn't get there on the near side, and Sorensen again pays for an aggressive off-the-line mentality.
Absolutely fantastic individual effort. You know, being a little physical with defender, moving him out of position to be able to get possession, beat the keeper by a hair to poke that out, and then the finish, he's got to get that angle to be able to get that, you know, between the keeper, between the post, had to get it over a defender as well so they couldn't kick it out. Just fantastic stuff there, and the finish, I loved every second of that goal.
Just shy of the hour mark here at Logan High. It's Miles McNulty with his 4th of the season to put Logan up 2-1 against Green Canyon. Knocked down. Now Hitamana has it on the far side. He is bodied off it by the double team. Kept alive by Green Canyon's midfield. Ashcroft trying to get to the middle of the field. Knocks it back for Sadler. Hit it a little too soft. Gets it back for Cannon Clark, though. Clark through a triple team, moving to his right. Chipping down that right side, and Campbell never made the run.
Yeah, I think he was afraid of just, you know, being offside. Or excuse me, it was Garcia who was he pulled up, and it was just too far in front for the other runner. So just not quite on the right page for both of those guys to potentially make a run. We got a man down, though, for a second, though.
It's Chucky Poma down on the turf as the clock stops at 20 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the game. Chucky Poma comes up.
I wonder if it's a cramp or something, because he was kind of away from the play.
Yeah, he was elevating that left leg. He seems to be okay now as he jogs off under his own power, but because they stopped the game, he'll have to come off for at least a little bit.
Well, and either way, if you go down for a second, you probably should come off the game anyway just to get it double checked.
Especially when it's this cold and maybe you're not feeling it entirely.
Yeah.
Popoka comes back on for him for the time being. And we'll play this as a drop ball for Jesus Felix. He scoops it up inside the 18. Clock's still not running. Clock needs to be running. It's still not running. No one's noticed. Now it's running.
Now it's running. There we go. I almost had to run into the other room there to remind him.
You got to do a lot better about clock management here on your home field when you're trying to run out a one-goal lead. But that's knocked off the end line for a Logan corner.
Like I said, we're all human. Forgive and forget. But if Green Canyon does score with 2 seconds left, somebody's going to hear it.
Yeah, they got about 10 extra seconds of second half, I'd call it there. If someone scores in the last 10 seconds, There you go. Low cross, knocked down.
Got to get a little more elevation on that one for an in-swinger like that.
Popoka looking for another cross. Knocked away by Campbell and puts it out for a throw. Just kept it off the end line.
Yeah, good defensive stand there. Obviously, you'd like to take care of business before then, but preventing the corner there was obviously a huge in that moment.
19 minutes and a handful of seconds left here in Logan. Another long throw from the Grizzlies is headed towards the top of the 18. Hitamana goes down trying to clear that ball for Green Canyon, still bouncing around, and finally cleared out by Casey Thompson.
That header from the Wolves, if it goes like half a foot higher, I think that would have ended up in the back of the net because there was a Grizzly right there who would have pinballed that one right into the net had it not been headed away.
Awkward bounce there, just gets away from Chikamoto on the far side, and it goes out for another Logan throw.
Now you asked me who has the momentum, and I said it was turning toward the Grizzlies, and I think it has turned with the way things are going. But I think the Wolves have a rally in them, especially if we get into these last 10 minutes and they haven't scored. We're going to see all-out Grizzlies push, and that'll really test the resolve of the Grizzlies.
Especially as the field continues to clear up just a little bit. It opens up just that little bit more creativity for both of these, attacking lines to do a bit more. They've kind of been playing on their tiptoes all night.
Yeah, now they're starting to get their full feet under them.
Cannon Clark's going to try and run this down off a bad bounce. He can't get past Zeke Taylor, and Taylor will send it out for a throw.
Almost a similar position to where McNulty scored, but he managed to play physical with the defender and get that win there. But that time, the Grizzlies' defense getting the win.
Well, and Zeke Taylor, too, he's going to have the size advantage 99% of the time.
Yeah, you're not going to win the physical game over him.
Top of the 18, knocked away by the Grizzlies again. This will be a throw for Green Canyon just in front of their bench.
Playing fast.
Yeah, playing quickly for Ashcroft as that's knocked out for another Green Canyon throw just in front of the corner flag.
So that's what we're seeing the beginnings of this. Green Canyon, they're not going to give up. They have all the firepower in the world to be able to get this, late equalizer.
Ashcroft was trying to make a run down the goal line. He stopped his run, and the throw came in at that exact moment. It's a goal kick for Felix.
Commentators curse. They praise their offense, and then they bottle it up.
17 minutes, 5 seconds remaining in the second half. It's 2-1 Logan thanks to Miles McNulty, just a couple seconds shy of the hour mark in this one. Right-footed goal kick is knocked down by Clark. Couldn't corral it, though. It came off his foot very heavy. Green Canyon moving that pressure a little bit up past midfield now as they're starting to feel the clock. It's not their friend. 16:40 to play.
Yeah, we'll see a little more time wasting, a little more long clears. Wait.
Whistles now as the throw came in quickly. Green Canyon's going to make a substitution, though.
I got thrown off when Green Canyon caught the throw and was like, wait a minute, you're not allowed to do that.
Wrong sport. Nixon Harris, the man who took the throw, is actually being subbed off for Tanner Holt now. Tanner Holt, I'm told, was another person who may have hurt that ankle, but Holt actually got a shout-out from one of the Logan Grizzlies seniors today for senior night, thanking him and Jair Velasquez, a former Logan Grizzly who graduated last year, for all their Roblox sessions together.
There we go. That's what the kids are doing these days, Roblox.
Well, these two schools, I think that, there's obviously rivalries between Region 11 schools, but there's also good friendships. And between Logan and Green Canyon, these guys always seem to get along.
Yeah.
Nice ball over the top for Clark. The flag might come up. No, it stays down. Clark gets a foot to it, but it's a weakly hit ball, and Clark is down on his face inside the 18.
Yeah, I think just frustrated. He fell over and was like, I should have hit that a little bit better. It was a little too easy for Felix to get that one.
I don't think he got clean footing, too, is probably part of the issue.
Yeah, that's just been the fault all game.
Nice ball over the top. McNulty, the flag stays down, but he had to come back for it, and it allows Tanner Holt to get back and stop that thing.
Yeah, it just couldn't field it cleanly with his feet. Had he done so, defense might have been able to catch up to him, but he would had another really good shot at a goal.
Short throw is read well by Whitby. Heads it far up the field. Clark trying to come back and play a bad bounce. Pingree gets it away from him. Now a heavy touch. Ashcroft and Clark a fall on it at the same time. Down the left side, Hitamana almost got there. Dangerous slide in, but it's cleared out by, I think, either Kaysen Thompson or Mason Birch. That's Kaysen Thompson for a Green Canyon throw.
Yeah, half a foot late on the slide. Lucky that he was doing pretty clean technique there because it could have ended up as a yellow card and overrun this throw-in they got.
14:45 to play in the game. Ashcroft bumped as that one goes out of play for another Green Canyon throw. Ashcroft wants to take it himself. He wanted to go quickly, but Green Canyon has two subs to make. Jackson Steed coming onto the pitch for Green Canyon. As is Porter. They'll replace Hitamana and Bennett Campbell. Throw in, trying to run Cannon Clark down to the end line, but it's too heavy, and Felix falls on it. Just over 14 to play, and Logan is in full clock management mode.
Yeah, you got 14 minutes left. You got this 2-1 lead over Green Canyon. I know you don't want to just park the bus, but at some point you got to take advantage of the clock being your friend.
Oh, Garcia with a strong slide in. He got to the ball, and Pingree goes down hard, but it's just going to be a throw for Logan, and Pingree's up and seems to be fine.
See, I had the frame of the window right in the way of that, but it looked like he was getting him from behind. They're calling a throw in. They're not even calling a foul.
Yeah, I heard a lot of ball on that one, and they're going to say he got to the ball. Pingree not happy about it. Zeke Taylor not happy about it, but Garcia right on point with that slide tackle, according to our official. Dangerous slide, though, for sure.
I've praised him the whole game, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt since I had the unfortunate moment of shielding between me and the play. Foul there, though.
Yeah, foul's going to be called against Sadler as he got armbarred down to the turf, but he is the one that draws the whistle. That's interesting. He was trying to get up, and he was held down. Zeke Taylor standing over this one from about 35 yards from goal. Left foot chip over the top is well short.
Yeah, just didn't chip it enough or
and then
far
Cannon
enough.
Clark gets tripped up on his way up the field. No card. They're just going to play a free kick. I do appreciate that, despite the physical contact and despite maybe some harder fouls late in this one, we've kept the cards in the pocket.
Yeah, if it's not like too excessive or dirty contact, I know dirty contact isn't necessarily a term they use, but it's one I like to use. Just keep the cards in the pocket unless it's really bad or, one of those situational fouls.
McNulty down the near side trying to beat Holt and could not beat Holt with some help from Aaron Stevens, but Stevens knocks it out for a Logan throw. 12.5 to play. Read well by Holt, and that's going to go out for a Logan throw.
Yeah, Logan throw. Green Canyon thought it was them, but I think it's the right call that it should be a Logan throw. What are they yelling at the AR for?
They've been yelling at him all game. It's kind of sad, but what are you going to do? Chikamoto almost knocks that off, and then they are going to call that out off McNulty for a Green Canyon throw. Less than 12 to play now.
Yeah, it just went right over the line, and it was the AR who was on top of it. He sees the line, and he told the head official, I saw it go out of bounds. They make the call.
Over the head of Porter. He tried to go up and get that one. Now Clark running after it, wins the throw for Green Canyon off of a Logan foot. Quick throw now for Porter. He couldn't get to it, though. Didn't get the run started in time. Grizzlies touched it last, though. This should be a Green Canyon corner. No, they called it a goal kick.
Yeah, hard for me to tell this distance, but it very well could have been a Green Canyon corner there, but officials are going to give the benefit of the doubt to the Grizzlies in that case.
And no argument coming from Cannon Clark either, so
maybe it
like
was,
you said, the correct call there.
Sometimes you can judge the correctness of a call based on the level of argument.
And you know that these kids are going to be arguing calls late in this tied game.
Oh,
Great
definitely.
play off the outside of the foot. Porter trying to get there, using the body, pokes it through the legs, gets the cross in for Clark. Shot on goal, saved by Felix. Follow-up, and Felix falls on it. Green Canyon wanted a penalty there, but it was all clean play, and the official emphasizing that was no pen. Good call. 10:45 to go here in the second half.
Yeah, it was clean. And again, we saw some physical play from the attackers, same as we saw from McNulty earlier, that earned him the chance, and that chance came for the Wolves, but a fantastic save off the redirection. Jesus Felix with a fantastic positional save there, getting his body in front of that shot.
Throw into Clark. Finds Garcia. Heavy touch, though. Couldn't settle it as he ran towards the 18. Now Grizzlies to the far side of the field. Forced out for a Green Canyon throw, level with the 50. Trying to go quickly, right off a Grizzly for another throw. Just over 10 to play here in Logan. 2-1 Grizzlies. Nice turn, though, on the far side. Cannon Clark centers this one. It's too heavy. Porter couldn't get a clean foot to it. Now drop for Ashcroft. His left-footed shot bounces once, and Felix gets it off the deflection. Felix will fall on it inside the 6. Less than 10 to play, and Logan's holding on to that one-goal lead on senior night.
And they're clinging to it as the Wolves, as I mentioned, they're going to make that push. And we've seen them test Felix a couple times now, and I don't think it's going to be the last.
The Grizzlies are trying to spring McNulty free again down the left wing. It's going to be another Green Canyon throw just shy of the Logan bench.
I think that's going to be the Grizzlies' strategy from their entering counterattack mode, where they just try and take advantage of the Wolves as they push forward.
Good bounce there for the midfield Grizzlies as they work this across their own logo. Short pass, though, now chipped back over the top. Dangerous ball for Porter. Heavy touch off of his foot, and this is going to roll out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just a little too heavy there. Grizzlies going to now waste a little bit of time here, taking their dear sweet time to get this goal kick set up as we cross the 9-minute mark.
Final moments of this match brought to you by Les Olson IT. What can a business technology partner do for you? Learn more at lesolson.com. Also brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air. You can schedule your service calls on their website, advancedheating-air.com. 8:45 to play here at Logan High. Headed up for Porter. Tries to get around the corner. Nice slide in there from Logan to free that ball up. Launched back down the field. 8.5 to go.
Referee lost his flag. Must be cold out there.
Slipped out of the hand now. Here's a Logan throw.
Coach
8 minutes, 20 seconds to go.
Coach going to give the referee an assist there. Sometimes the hands are slippery, and we know how slippery and wet it is out there. I'm surprised one of these referees hasn't biffed it. They've been pretty good on their feet.
Oh, really good touch there for Chikamoto, but it spins the wrong way off the boot.
He pulled off half the skill check. That'd have been neat if he'd have completed it.
Sent out there for a throw by Zeke Taylor. I don't think he realized how clear he was of Green Canyon. They go short for Ashcroft, and that's taken away from him immediately.
A good step. Couldn't quite clear it, though. Pressure's back on.
Green Canyon gets up there and heads that back in towards the 18. Sent out for a throw for Green Canyon just shy of the corner.
Nearly a miscommunication there. There was a bit of a hesitation. Was the keeper going to get it? Was Felix going to come out? But ultimately a right decision for the defenders. But that hesitation meant they had to desperately send it out.
7.5 to go. Green Canyon desperately trying to force some extra soccer here in Logan. It's 2-1 Grizzlies on senior night. Long throw over the head of Ashcroft as he overran that thing, cleared out for another Green Canyon throw.
The Grizzlies will be content to just keep kicking these long out of bounds, though in some of these spots it's going to be easy for Green Canyon to just grab the spare ball and go.
Garcia gets around to, tries to get this up to Cannon Clark, and Clark is knocked off the ball. It looks like he came up a little bit lame there. He'll limp it off and stay in.
And good job by the referee not calling the foul there, because it was just, it being wet and slippery. That's why he mostly fell over. Although Wolves getting a throw a few moments later.
6:40 to play. Centering ball is in the middle of three different Wolves, but a bad touch gives the ball to Ashcroft. Now trying to work away from the Grizzlies, spins through two, gets it off to Clark. Clark looking for the left-footed shot, takes an awkward deflection and does not make it all the way to goal. Felix will scoop this up easily.
A good job there. There were a couple of moments where that could have gone disastrously wrong for the Grizzlies, but swarming the attacker enough that he couldn't get a clean shot off. Good team defense.
Just over 6 to go. Goal kick to midfield. Knocked down for Pingree. He's going to try and touch this one and go down the left wing. Taken away by Holt. Back heels that one out of play for a Logan throw. 6 minutes to go here in Logan. This is Region 11 Soccer on KVNU 102.1 FM, 610 AM, and 100.9 Light FM. Chikamoto to the top of the box, trying to open it up for the right foot. Ushered away from danger. Still in the box for Logan. Around that far side, and poked out for a goal kick. Sorensen will take this one.
Fantastic dribbling.
Oh, they call that a corner. They call that a touch off Green Canyon. The Green Canyon back line is shocked, but this will be a corner for Logan.
The assistant had that as a goal kick, and this might be one of those times where I finally start disagreeing with the referee here. I thought that was off the Grizzlies as well.
That looked pretty clear, but it'll be an in-swinger now for Logan from the far side. Skips through. Follow-up from Pingree goes through the football uprights.
Yeah, that was really close. If he's able to get that a little further away from his body and get over that ball, he'd have put that in the back of the net. That's too close for Gage to be getting hands on.
Short goal kick from Sorensen. Chikamoto was offside, though, on that touch.
He was, though, and with the official waiting to see it, but he was offside. He came back onside as the time he got the ball, but he was off when the ball was kicked, so good spot from the officials there.
They've been pretty solid, both of our ARs today. 4:45 remaining in this one. Free kick coming from Tanner Holt, who joined the Green Canyon football team this school year as their kicker. Clark trying to play that off the bounce. It does not bounce friendly for him. Falls for Garcia, who tried to just force one through traffic, and it's ricocheted back out. Now a throw for Green Canyon right at the 50 with 4 minutes and just about 15 seconds to play.
And the pressure mounting for both of these teams, but Grizzlies obviously with the favored goal.
Headed over the top, takes an awkward bounce. Garcia might have a play. Really good recovery from Mason Birch, but sends it out in a dangerous spot for a Green Canyon throw.
Grizzlies heading that on for Green Canyon, just not quite the right header there.
4 minutes to go here in Logan. Your final portion of this match brought to you by Great Basin Graphics. Custom t-shirts, detailed embroidery, and graphic designs that will get your business noticed. Long throw into Garcia, knocked down. Can he turn to the left foot? No, he slips. Couldn't get a shot off. Now to the top of the 18 for Ashcroft. Waited too long, and it's knocked away. Sadler towards the top of the 18. Clark knocked away from it and cleared all the way across the 50. Now Sorensen's having to play really high up the field. 3.5 to go at Logan High.
When the Grizzlies are stacking so many players inside the box, it's hard to get a clean turn and shot. And when it's so slippery, like half the time they're turning and they're falling over, but it's not because they're being fouled, it's because they're just falling over. It's slippery. And it's going to make it really hard for the Wolves to get a clean shot on goal in this final moments here.
Long throw, lots of contact, and now a goal kick coming as Ashcroft kind of got ran over. Really good physical play by Zeke Taylor, and I'm not sure why the Logan fans are screaming at the official right now because it's a goal kick for Logan.
Zeke was kind of the
He was the aggressor there.
He was the architect of his own trip because he knocked man over and then tripped over the man he knocked over. So
Let's be a little nicer to the officials tonight.
Yeah,
they're doing a great job, and they're suffering for it.
I know. Sometimes it's frustrating to see that.
2 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in Logan. Another Green Canyon throw. Grizzlies just trying to survive this last little bit. That forced out for another Green Canyon throw. They're trying to play it quickly, and the officials are going to make them come back.
So I know not that quickly. Got to have some order to a throw in.
And we're going to have Tanner Holt go over to the far side to take this one. Everyone.
Oh, no, they're calling it a free kick. There's a foul.
Oh, so a foul called there against the Grizzlies. That's all right. Tanner Holt's going to have a free kick. 8 white shirts inside the 18. Almost in the middle of everyone. Almost getting a goal off. Cannon Clark goes down, but he went down too easily, and it'll be a corner kick.
The officials are just not going to be calling that because with how many guys can slip and fall, the referee's like, I'm just not going to call it just with all that different contact.
Less than 2 minutes to play, 1:45. And they ended up calling this a throw-in for Green Canyon. It must have gone off the touchline, and I just didn't see it.
Yeah, it was a throw-in.
Holt, sharp cross, headed down by Taylor. Almost cleared out, goes off the back of a Grizzly.
Grizzlies cleared it off their own man, and it favored the
big
Wolves.
bump there. As
that was too much. Too much shoulder, elbow, hip, just too much clearing him out there.
Steve tried to get it back to the back line, and he's the one that goes down.
Yeah, playing the man, not the ball, and that's where he's been letting that shoulder challenge go the entire game, but there's a line, and it got crossed.
70 seconds remaining. Green Canyon's going to have to go quickly here. Tanner Holt standing over it. Now 65 seconds remaining. Right foot to the far post, off the back of the head of Zeke Taylor, out for a Green Canyon throw.
Excellently headed away, not perfectly, but excellently.
Chipped over the top, and
it was
the
offside
flag goes up against Green Canyon.
Yeah, the pass back to the man who threw it in, he was offside, and so that's a cheap mistake there from the Wolves. Bails out the Grizzlies from having to play a little more defense, and they're going to burn a few seconds.
Zeke Taylor now is going to stop to tie his cleats, and so the official will stop the clock.
Yeah, he's going to give him a yellow for time wasting. And I'm not sure I disagree too much because I think he knows the generous timing of wanting to tie his shoelaces.
So Zeke Taylor's going to have to go off the pitch. You get a yellow card in the UHSAA, you have to sub off. Zeke Taylor's done for the rest of this match, but I think his team's going to be able to hang on here for him.
And perhaps he's a victim of circumstance, but...
Yeah,
when you look suspicious, sometimes you're going to get burned.
I can't see the shoelace, and it was just unfortunate timing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say he did anything intentional there. Nice chip over the top if someone can get there for Green Canyon. Really good recovery run sent out for a Green Canyon throw. There's 20 seconds left in this game. This is it. Green Canyon's got to put this in the back of the net, or
Gage
we are done.
Gage Sorensen coming all the way to the box. He's going to join him.
10 seconds to go. Cross in from Ashcroft to the back post. Headed off of the top of Kason Thompson's head, and the Grizzlies are going to get the win on senior night. Logan wins 2-1. Drops Green Canyon back to third place, and they're a game out of third now behind Green Canyon with 4 to go in region.
Logan with 3 wins in a row now as they're building momentum here late in the season. Struggled early in the season, but they are playing their best soccer. A fantastic defensive performance. A team that's averaging 4.5 goals per game, and mind you, they are missing their best striker. But I don't think that puts an asterisk on this fantastic defensive performance.
And especially because they had to battle the conditions out there for sure. Green Canyon obviously battling those same conditions. But on senior night, your last home game of the season, you still got 4 games on the road to play in this regular season. But what an effort from Logan, especially defensively. We talked about Green Canyon coming out strong in the first 15 minutes of the half, and they locked it down after that. Then it was Miles McNulty that really ended this game for Logan. Just about 60 minutes into it, halfway through the second half of action, makes it 2-1 Logan. After that, Green Canyon really just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, well, you mentioned McNulty and the individual effort. That's the kind of stuff you got to get these wins like this and show that improvement, and show that turnaround that you're going to have for the Grizzlies, because he made that chance out of nowhere. It was kind of one-on-one, but like the defender had the inside line, the goalkeeper's there, but muscles it past the defender and then creates the chance and a clinical finish from that tough angle. And so you had guys creating offensive chances. There weren't a million of them for the Grizzlies, but when they got those great chances, they did, especially in the first half. Free kick, setting up the spill where Jace Pingree capitalizes on it to get the goal. So just great stuff all around for the Grizzlies and fending off a very talented Green Canyon team.
And some extra just good sportsmanship. That's the one thing I want to touch on, too, between these two teams, Jason, as we move into the postgame. Very hard-fought game, very physical game, and, yeah, we heard some chirping from in the bleachers, but very respectful game on the pitch.
Yeah, I think the players, they know each other. They're playing physical, but sometimes they're running to each other, and they help each other up, and, they're playing physical but not dirty. And that's the thing I love. Nobody was throwing dirty tackles. Nobody's throwing dirty elbows. They're playing hard, and sometimes you cross a line, but that's just playing physical, good soccer. And then we got a great job from the referees. And so soccer doesn't really get a whole lot better than this at the high school level, and especially when you get a chaotic game like this with the conditions. I absolutely love tonight. One of the best soccer games I've been a part of from all facets of the game.
Now as we move into our Castleite post game, whether you're looking for brick for your home, tile for a bathroom remodel, or pavers for a new walkway, think Castleite online, CASTALITE.com. 2 superlatives we want to talk about this evening. First, we'll talk about our Napa Auto Parts best part of the game, the parts and oil you need to keep your car and equipment running its best, locally owned and operated from Preston to Providence. What do you think our best part of the game was tonight?
Oh, there are so many things that I could choose. Oh, my gosh. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Logan defense. Just a lot of the ways that they kept Green Canyon from having golden chances. Sure, there were a few shots on goals. They did have a few chances to test Jesus Felix, but I think ultimately, Logan's defense stepping up. This is a team that at one point was really struggling to stop teams from scoring, and they just shut down one of the best offensive teams in the state.
And now finally, your Old Grist Mill bread and butter play of the game. Have you tried the fantastic breakfast sandwiches served at the South Logan and Smithfield locations? You're going to love it. Bake fresh daily. It's pretty easy for me to have to point that one towards Miles McNulty, Jason.
I don't think there's another choice. Like maybe you could point to one of the other goals, but Miles McNulty, kind of almost a one-man wrecking crew on that goal, fighting just to get the opportunity. And then the clinical finish, as I've said like 3 different times now, just fantastic stuff from him. Definitely the play of the game, and it being the game winner, it all wraps it up into one delicious Old Grist Mill sandwich.
So the Green Canyon Wolves fall to 8-3 on the season, 5-2 in region, now in third place on their own. Some very critical matchups coming first. Next week, they have another 3-game week. They'll host Skyview on Saturday, the 26th of April. Before that, though, Tuesday night in North Logan at 6 p.m., they'll host the Provo Bulldogs. And on Thursday, they'll host the Bear River Bears at 7. It'll be a 3-game homestand for Green Canyon all next week. For the Logan Grizzlies, this is their final home match of the season. They will be at Ridgeline next Tuesday, at Westfield next Thursday, and in a week and a half time at Skyview, April 29th, 7 p.m. The Grizzlies will wrap up their season at Mountain Crest on May 1st, 7 p.m. Big thank you to the Green Canyon Booster Club as well this evening. The boosters support sports throughout the year and would like to say thanks to all those local businesses and individuals who support Green Canyon and its students. And a big thank you, of course, to Cache Valley Daily. The latest news about what's going on in your community is found on Cache Valley Daily, including photo galleries and replays of local sports. You've been listening to Region 11 Soccer on 102.1 FM, 610 AM KVNU, and 100.9 Light FM. If you've been streaming along with us on CacheValleyDaily.com or YouTube, your video experience powered by Adams Wealth Advisors. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back with you next week for some more Region 11 sports. For Jason Walker, I'm Stockton Jukes on KVNU and 100.9 Light FM. Good night, Cache Valley. We'll see you later.
This has been a presentation of Region 11 Spring Sports on 107.7 FM and CacheValleyDaily.com. This broadcast of Region 11 Sports has been brought to you by Cache Valley Daily and the Cache Valley Media Group, covering the Skyview Bobcats, Green Canyon Wolves, Logan Grizzlies, Bear River Bears, Ridgeline Riverhawks, and Mountain Crest Mustangs. Watch replays of previous games on CacheValleyDaily.com.